Hi everyone. Today I wanted to speak to you about something that doesn't get a lot of attention, and it's something that many black women go through and experience. Something called weathering. Now, I know that a lot more lately I've seen it come up, and I thought about it. I have in some of my past videos I've touched on it a little bit, but not a lot. And I really thought this was so important right now, especially at this point in juncture and what's going on with us. And I can speak on it firsthand because I've experienced it. We all, as black women, have experienced it. And when you're of a certain age demographic, you know, I'm in my 50s, you know, coming up, we know it as microaggressions, unconscious bias, stuff like that, just plain racist. But, you know, we're also taught, don't let nobody, and it happens a lot in the workplace, right? So we're taught, for us, don't let nobody run you off that good job, right? And you just don't say nothing, you just keep going. Don't let them run you off your job. That leads to us ending up having versions of internalizing trauma, right? We get the chronic health conditions from it. We get mental health episodes. We get depression. We get anxiety. And I've experienced it. Well, if y'all ever heard me in any of my past videos, I talk about you couldn't pay me enough to work in government ever again. And for me, and I work state government, and I'm in Texas, so if you know that's a whole nother ball game with that crud. But especially here, that I literally, you talk about CYA, it was a true CYA with everything you did. And I say that because, you know, you already fight that thing, especially if you ever worked in government. They have them long haul people that's there forever and a day and ain't going nowhere, even though they made they 25 30 years, but they still, because government don't pay no money, they gonna sit there till they got one foot in the grave, and will sit up there and then make life hell for you because they think you coming for their good government job. And so for me, and I had I told you I used to be a director, so I went to government after we had a layoff in my company that I was where I was a director that got sold, and I ended up being part of the layoff. I went to the government, you know, the state government, and a year in, I was under investigation with internal affairs. It comes out, somebody told this big lie saying I was still in time. And you know, if you work in the government, still in time is day-to-day fed. And thank goodness I had an email from where I had sent the previous director when I got there. I don't know how you do comp time. Can you show me how to do comp time? He assigned a manager to show me how to do it. Don't you know, the year after that man retired, that heifer sat up there and put in a case saying I had been still in time because she showed me how to do comp time wrong to set me up. I was under investigation and all this other stuff. And finally, when they finally came to talk to me, I said, wait a minute, I got an email. I did it wrong? I've been thinking I'm doing it right for the last year and a half. That's what saved me. And from that day forward, I became that person. I'm looking over my shoulder, I'm asking. And they didn't get in trouble. They told me just to brush that out, because I was like, wait a minute, let's put a case, because I don't understand that. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to sound like the angry black woman, just, you know. And, you know, they got, of course, people that look like us doing their bid and telling us don't do that. Just shush, shush, shush. And, like, it was literally, if I asked a question after that, the microaggressions started, the unconscious, well, why is she being like that? She's being insubordinate. Why can't she just do it? And I could have been just asking a question as simple as, why is it done this way? You know, so that I know the steps, right? Because, you know, you making sure you checking off and got the steps right. Everybody does their stuff differently. That was called, I was being insubordinate. I was threatened to be written up so much, it was crazy. It was stuff like that, that it literally, I came home for Christmas holiday, and me and my sister were going out shopping. And I remember asking my sister, I said to her, I said, do you mind if I ask you a question? I'm not trying to be offensive or anything. And she looked at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? What is that? And I said, what's wrong? And she was like, who are you talking to? And I was like, I'm talking to you. She goes, well, why are you asking me like that? I said, what did I do? I got so trained so that I could save myself from the chaos at my job. That's how I had to approach people, because so many people were coming for me, right? And always having to be on 10, always having to stay on guard, always having to, weathering is something that, and I work with women in my coaching about this. Weathering is something that is chronic stress, and it is created, like I said earlier, by biases, microaggressions, racism, having to always protect yourself, always having to be I got to be prepared for my safety, and especially when you're in the workplace, because they try and take your bread and butter, right? So when she said that to me was when I realized I have been trained, because I'm normally that person that is just like, hey, I got a question for you. What about this? For me to have to put a label to say I'm not trying to cause any harm, that was so that when people were around me, when I was in the office, if something was reported, I said, no, such and such was there. And they would go back and say, no, she just asked this. Then it was all good. So is that type of thing. And when while I worked in that place, and Lord no, I tried to leave. That's whole nother thing. People need to realize, just because sometimes people have a government job and you see they're leaving, that is not because it's them. It is sometimes it's that place. Then they trying to get the hell out of there. So I could not find nowhere to go for 6 years, because people within the interview would say, and I work in HR, and I'd be like, what? You know you're not supposed to. Well, I'm just trying to figure out, why are you trying to leave? And I'm like, I don't get a raise unless they approve that. It's not like private sector where you at least get your 2% or whatever. Government saying, especially state, no, not unless legislation votes on that. Right? So you might not get nothing. And then when you're under stress. So I'm saying that to say, because for anybody that's a hiring manager or anything like that, we just lost jobs for 300,000 black women in the federal sector. They are prime and ready for do about any job that you got, because they got the skills. Stop looking at that title and where they worked at and start hiring. Okay, so that's just that little, take that out. But what I work for with women in my coaching is learning, when you recognize it, take it and put it in blocks where you either learn to find a way to label it and direct it. Now, I'm not talking therapy, because you will have trauma from it. When you go through therapy, they will help you with that anxiety, and some people come on with that depression or just undue stress from it. Life coaching is that person that helps build you. How do you want your life to look now? How are you trying to create the space for you so that when you come home, you are re-centered? When you are out and about, you're not constantly stressing. We're helping you create the life so you can, decompress, right? So that you see yourself in a better light. Build yourself back up. Build the look and the vibe that you want, that they have tried to tear down, right? And I work with that. This is one of the reasons I consult, I coach, and I have my travel retreats, is because I've been there. And when you come through that trauma phase and you finally can breathe, you want to figure out how to never have to go back through that, how to restructure yourself, how to recenter yourself, how to get away when you need to get away. You don't always have to I'm gonna say this as HR: go to work, do your job, come home. I'm okay with CYA because at this point you need to. But it is not necessary for you to outdo Betty Sue or Jim, because 9 times out of 10 you already do it naturally. Take your PTO, take your vacation, take your sick, take that break. Don't do overtime if it's not necessary. If you want to do that extra 10 hours of pay period, fine, because the rest of that get up in taxes anyway. I'm telling you, as somebody who used to do payroll. Take your stuff and go home. Don't let these people get you to the point. And I had to learn that. I literally, after that, and I was like, how did this happen? And I'm telling you, as somebody who's in HR and went through it, and know that sometimes you're like, wait a minute, hold up. Get yourself in a circle and a community of women that get it. Because some people, they can't recognize it. They just know. Don't let nobody take you out the good job. Sometimes you need that person that's going to call that spade a spade. They say, hey. No, we're not taking that on that job. What you doing? Walk away from that. You know, you may not be able to leave, but you can close that laptop and go home. You can take that mental health day. I'm sick. You understand? Take that FMLA. It need be. It's real. And find you a way, by hook or crook. Either build it, make it, or transfer out. And then get around other women that can surround you and love you. Weathering causes Black women to age almost 20 years faster. And that could be, you could be 20, and by the time you're 30, 35, and you done finally caught on to, oh hell, this ain't worth all this shit, right? That you be feeling already like you be down to 45, 50. By the time I made director, by the time I was 38. When that happened to me, I was like 41. That went on until I was like 46, because 46, 47, couldn't find nowhere to go. And in that time, my diabetes got worse. I got a lung disease that's an autoimmune situation, came from out of nowhere. Stress is real. And I say that is because a lot of the time, that added BS we have to put up with while this is going on in weathering, that it creates chronic illnesses. Breast cancer is the most aggressive form in Black women. I think that has a lot to do with it. Stress is our number one thing, and they add to it. So we don't know how to, because we're taught to be like the strong woman. We got this. Baby, do your minimum. In the workplace, do your minimum. Strive on the outside and do what you need to do and take your behind home. Right? Do your job and go home. If they gonna give it to you, they gonna give it to you. If they not, they not. Make your paycheck meet expectations and go home. I didn't say exceed them. That's just you. I'm telling you, you already, your meats is already 10 times better than they meats. Recognize that. So guys, if y'all want to talk about this, get you a coach. Get you, and again, therapy and coaching, two different things. I can help you rebuild and improve it Therapy is the person that's going to help you get through that trauma, right? I'm going to come afterward. And when you're ready, my links are in my description. You can do a discovery call with me and be more than happy to help you. If this resonates with you all, hit the like button, subscribe, and also do some more research on weathering, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Start journaling. Start just writing it out sometimes. Sometimes you just got to get it out, right? Don't hold that in. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Tell me hi, and what are you doing, or what have you experienced also? That's a good one. What have you experienced that you may consider weathering and you didn't know that's what the case was? Guys, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe and like, and welcome to the Simply Slay Life podcast. I'm Chelle. Have a good one.